There are some betrayals you never see coming, the ones that come from the people who share your blood. Sarah was 19 when her family destroyed her. Not with fists, not with screams, with lies. Her sister, Emily, the golden child, the one everyone adored, stood in the living room that night with tears streaming down her face, trembling like a wounded animal. "It was Sarah," Emily whispered, voice cracking. "She's the one who told Dad about Mom's affair. She wanted to destroy us." Sarah froze, because she hadn't. She hadn't said a word. But Emily's performance? Oscar-worthy. The tears, the shaking hands, the broken voice. Their mother turned away, disgust in her eyes. Their father pointed to the door. "Get out." Sarah tried to speak, tried to explain, but no one listened. Emily cried louder, lied better, won the room. Sarah left with one suitcase and a heart that would never fully heal. For 11 years, she disappeared. No calls, no visits, no explanations. She rebuilt herself in silence. New city, new name, new life. But she never forgot. And when she turned 30, something shifted. Because buried in an old phone, one she'd kept hidden in a drawer for over a decade, were messages that were never supposed to survive. Screenshots, dates, names, proof. Not of her guilt, but of Emily's. The betrayal wasn't Sarah's. It was her sister's all along. And now, after years of silence, Sarah was coming home. Not to beg, not to forgive, but to expose everything. At a family gathering, in front of everyone who had turned their backs on her, Sarah would press play. And the golden child, she was about to fall. Hard. What happens when the truth you've been hiding for over a decade finally comes to light? Let's find out. The night Sarah left, it was raining. She remembers that. The sound of the door slamming behind her, the cold bite of the wind, the way her Wiescase wheels dragged against the wet pavement. She was 19, alone, betrayed by the only people who were supposed to love her unconditionally. And the worst part? She didn't even know why Emily did it. They'd been close once, sisters, best friends even. Emily was 2 years younger. Beautiful, charming, the kind of girl who could light up a room just by walking into it. Everyone loved Emily. Teachers, neighbors, their parents' friends. But Sarah? Sarah was the quiet one, the responsible one, the one who got good grades, kept her head down, and never caused trouble. She wasn't flashy. She wasn't the center of attention. And maybe that was the problem. Because when their mother's affair came to light, when their father found the hotel receipts, the text messages, the lies, it tore the family apart. Their mother didn't deny it. She couldn't. But she also couldn't face the shame, and someone had to take the blame for exposing it. Sarah had been the one to accidentally see the messages. She'd borrowed her mom's phone to check the time, and there they were, texts from a man named David. Messages that made her stomach turn. She'd told Emily, only Emily, because she didn't know what to do. And Emily had hugged her, told her it would be okay, promised they'd figure it out together. But Emily had other plans, because when their father confronted their mother and the screaming started and the accusations flew, Emily saw an opportunity. She saw a way to become the victim, the hero, the one who tried to hold the family together while Sarah tore it apart. So she lied. She spun a story so convincing, so heartbreaking, that their parents believed every word. And Sarah? Sarah became the villain. She tried to defend herself, tried to tell the truth. But Emily's tears were louder. Her pain was more believable. And in the end, Sarah lost. She left that night with nowhere to go. She crashed on a friend's couch for 2 weeks, then moved 3 states away to live with an aunt she barely knew. She changed her phone number, deleted her social media, cut every tie to the family that had abandoned her.
And for years, she told herself she was better off, that they didn't deserve her, that she'd moved on. But deep down, in the quiet moments when she was alone, the anger never left. It simmered, festered, grew, because Sarah knew the truth, and one day she would make sure everyone else did too. She just didn't know when or how, until she found the phone. It was tucked away in a box of old belongings she'd been meaning to throw out, a relic from her teenage years, a cheap flip phone she'd used before smartphones became the norm. She'd kept it for sentimental reasons, maybe, or maybe she'd just forgotten about it. But when she turned it on, charged it for the first time in over a decade, and scrolled through the old messages, everything changed. Because there they were, texts from Emily, sent the day before Sarah was kicked out, messages to a friend bragging about her plan. "I'm going to tell them Sarah did it. She'll take the fall and I'll finally be the favorite." Sarah's hands shook as she read. Her heart pounded, because this wasn't just proof. This was a weapon, and she was finally ready to use it. But how do you expose someone who spent over a decade perfecting their lie?
Sarah didn't go back right away. She wanted to. God, she wanted to storm into her parents' house, throw the phone on the table, and watch Emily's perfect little world crumble. But she'd learned something in the years since she'd been exiled. Patience, strategy, timing. Because revenge isn't about rage, it's about precision. So she waited. She watched. She planned. She started by checking her family's social media, something she'd avoided for years, and what she found made her blood boil. Emily's life was perfect. At least that's what it looked like online. Beautiful house, successful husband, 2 adorable kids, and in every family photo, there she was, smiling, glowing, the golden child who'd held the family together after Sarah tore it apart. Their parents commented on every post, "So proud of you, sweetheart. Our beautiful daughter. We're blessed to have you." Sarah's name? Never mentioned. Not once. It was like she'd never existed, like she'd been erased. And that fueled her. Because Emily hadn't just lied, she'd stolen Sarah's family, her identity, her place in the world. And she'd done it all with a smile. So Sarah kept digging. She created a fake account, started following Emily's friends, joined the local community groups her family was part of. And slowly, a pattern emerged. Because Emily's perfect life, it was built on lies. Her husband didn't know about the credit card debt she'd been hiding. Her friends didn't know about the time she'd manipulated a coworker into taking the blame for a mistake Emily had made. Her parents didn't know that the charity work Emily posted about was mostly for show, photo ops, not actual volunteer hours. Emily had spent over a decade crafting an image, and Sarah was about to shatter it. But she needed the right moment, the right audience. And then, scrolling through her mother's Facebook page one night, Sarah saw it, an event invitation. "Join us for our 35th anniversary celebration. Family, friends, and loved ones welcome." Her parents' anniversary party, next month, at their house. Emily would be there. The whole family would be there. Everyone who had turned their backs on Sarah. Everyone who believed Emily's lies. It was perfect. Sarah RSVP'd using her fake account, posing as a friend of a friend, someone peripheral enough not to raise suspicion. And then she started preparing. She transferred the messages from the old phone to her laptop, made backups, printed screenshots. She rehearsed what she would say, how she would walk in, when she would reveal the truth. She imagined their faces, the shock, the guilt, the horror. And Emily? Emily would have nowhere to run, no more tears to hide behind, no more lies to spin, because this time Sarah had proof, and this time the truth would be louder than any sob story Emily could conjure. The weeks leading up to the party felt like an eternity. Sarah barely slept, barely ate. She ran through every scenario, every possible reaction. What if they didn't believe her? What if they accused her of faking the messages? What if Emily found a way to twist it again? But every time doubt crept in, Sarah looked at those texts.
She'll take the fall and I'll finally be the favorite. And the doubt disappeared. Because this wasn't just about revenge anymore. This was about justice. This was about reclaiming the life Emily had stolen. And on the night of the party, Sarah would walk through that door not as the exiled daughter, the family scapegoat, the forgotten sister, but as the truth. And the truth, it was about to burn everything down.
The house looked exactly the same. Sarah stood across the street, hands shoved in her coat pockets, staring at the warm glow spilling from the windows. She could hear laughter, music, the hum of a family celebration. Her family, the one that had thrown her away. Her heart pounded, her palms were slick with sweat. She'd planned this moment for weeks, rehearsed it 100 times. But now that she was here, standing on the edge of everything, doubt crept in like poison. What if this didn't work? What if they still chose Emily? What if... No. She shook her head, forcing the thoughts away. She'd come too far to turn back now. Sarah crossed the street, climbed the familiar porch steps, and rang the doorbell. For a moment, nothing. Then the door swung open. Her mother stood there, wineglass in hand, mid-laugh at something someone had said behind her. And then she saw Sarah. The smile died. The glass nearly slipped from her hand. Sarah? The word came out strangled, disbelieving, like she was seeing a ghost. And in a way, she was. "Hi, Mom," Sarah said quietly. Her mother didn't move, didn't speak, just stared. Behind her, the noise of the party continued, oblivious. "Can I come in?" Her mouth opened, closed, and then, before she could answer, a voice called from inside. "Mom, who is it?" "Emily." Sarah's pulse spiked. And then Emily appeared in the doorway, still holding a champagne flute, still glowing with that effortless charm. She looked at Sarah. And for just a second, just one fleeting, beautiful second, Sarah saw it. Fear. "Sarah?" Emily's voice was carefully controlled, surprised but not panicked. "What are you doing here?" "I was invited," Sarah lied smoothly. Emily's eyes narrowed, but she recovered quickly, forcing a smile. "Well, it's been a long time." "It has." Her mother finally found her voice. "Sarah, this isn't a good time." "Actually," Sarah interrupted, "I think it's the perfect time." She stepped forward, and her mother instinctively moved aside. Sarah walked into the den, where the party was in full swing. Faces turned. Conversation stopped. Her father stood by the fireplace, drink in hand, frozen mid-sentence. Aunts, uncles, cousins, family friends. All of them staring, all of them remembering. The girl who broke the family, the one who wasn't supposed to come back. Sarah took a breath, steadying herself. "I'm sorry to interrupt, but there's something I need to say." Her father stepped forward. "Sarah, you need to leave." "No." Her voice was sharper now, firmer. "I'm not leaving. Not this time." She pulled out her phone. Emily's smile faltered. 11 years ago, I was kicked out of this family. I was called a liar, a betrayer. I was blamed for tearing this family apart." Murmurs rippled through the room. Her mother looked at the floor. Her father's jaw tightened. But Sarah wasn't done. "I left because no one believed me, because Emily's story was more convincing, because her tears were louder than my truth." Emily stepped forward, voice dripping with false concern. "Sarah, you're clearly upset." "I'm not upset. I'm done being silent." She held up her phone. "This is a message Emily sent the day before I was kicked out, to her friend, bragging about what she was about to do." The room went still. Emily's face drained of color. "Sarah, don't." "I'm going to tell them Sarah did it," Sarah read aloud, voice unwavering. "She'll take the fall, and I'll finally be the favorite." Gasps, whispers. Emily's perfect mask cracked. And Sarah? She was just getting started. The silence in the room was deafening. All eyes turned to Emily. She stood frozen, champagne glass trembling in her hand, mouth open but no words coming out. That's not real," she finally stammered. "Sarah, you're making this up."
Am I? Sarah's voice was ice cold. She tapped her phone screen and a blown-up screenshot appeared, time-stamped, dated, undeniable. Emily's words, Emily's phone number, sent the day before Sarah was exiled. Sarah turned the phone so everyone could see. I have the original phone, the one I used back then. I can show the metadata, the timestamps, everything. Emily's face went white. Her father stepped forward, eyes locked on the screen. Let me see that. Sarah handed him the phone. He read. His jaw clenched, his hand shook. Then he looked at Emily. Emily, is this real? Dad, no, she's lying. Is this real? Emily flinched. The room held its breath. And then slowly her mask shattered completely. Her eyes filled with tears, but this time they weren't the kind that won sympathy. They were tears of panic. I was young, okay? I didn't mean... You didn't mean to destroy my life? Sarah's voice cut through like a blade. You didn't mean to lie to our parents, to turn everyone against me? I was scared. Emily's voice rose, desperate now. Mom and Dad were falling apart, and I didn't know what to do, and I thought if you made me the villain, you'd be the hero? Emily's silence was answer enough. Their mother, who had been standing in the doorway, finally moved. She walked slowly into the room, eyes locked on Emily. You told us Sarah did it. You swore, you cried, you begged us to believe you. Mom, please. We threw her out. Their mother's voice cracked. We threw our daughter out because of you. Emily's tears spilled over. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But Sarah wasn't interested in apologies. Not anymore. You stole 11 years from me, Sarah's voice trembling with controlled rage. 11 years of my life, my family, my identity, and you built your perfect little world on top of the lie that destroyed mine. She turned to the rest of the room, aunts, uncles, cousins, all watching in stunned silence. Everyone here believed her. Everyone here turned their backs on me, and not one of you ever asked if maybe, just maybe, the golden child wasn't as perfect as she seemed. Shame flickered across their faces. Her father set the phone down on the table, hands shaking. He looked at Sarah, then at Emily. And then, for the first time in over a decade, he spoke directly to Sarah. I don't know what to say. You don't have to say anything, Sarah replied. I didn't come here for an apology. I came here for the truth. She picked up her phone, slipped it back into her pocket, and now you all know it. She turned toward the door. Her mother reached out. Sarah, wait! But Sarah didn't stop. She didn't look back. She'd spent 11 years waiting for this moment, and now that it was over, she didn't need their forgiveness. She didn't need their guilt. She'd already won, because the truth had finally been heard. And Emily's perfect life, it was about to crumble. Behind her, Sarah heard Emily's sobs, heard her father's voice, low and furious, heard her mother's broken whispers, and Sarah smiled, not out of cruelty, but out of relief, because for the first time in 11 years, she was finally free. But was exposing Emily enough, or was there more Sarah needed to take back?
Sarah didn't go far. She sat in her car, parked 3 blocks away, hands gripping the steering wheel, heart still pounding. She'd done it. She'd actually done it. The truth was out. Emily's lies were exposed, and the look on her sister's face, the sheer, undeniable panic, would be burned into Sarah's memory forever. But as the adrenaline faded, something else crept in. Emptiness. Because for 11 years, Sarah had imagined this moment. She'd fantasized about it, dreamed about it, lived for it. And now that it was over, what was she supposed to do next? Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. She frowned, opened it. Body text. Sarah, it's Dad. Please, we need to talk. Her stomach twisted. She stared at the message for a long time. Part of her wanted to delete it, block the number, drive away, and never look back. But another part, a part she hated to admit existed, wanted to hear what he had to say. She typed back, "Why should I?" The response came almost immediately. "Because I was wrong, and I need to tell you that in person." Sarah's breath hitched. She sat there for 5 minutes, staring at the screen. And then, against every instinct, she replied, "1 hour, coffee shop on Maple Street. Come alone. I'll be there." 63 minutes later, Sarah sat in a corner booth nursing a lukewarm coffee when her father walked in. He looked older, grayer, tired, worn down by years of guilt he'd never acknowledged. He spotted her, hesitated, then approached slowly. "Sarah." She didn't stand, didn't smile, just nodded at the seat across from her. He sat. For a long moment, neither of them spoke, and then, quietly, he said, "I'm sorry." Sarah's jaw tightened. "That's it? That's all you have to say?" "No," he shook his head, rubbing his face. "No, it's not, but I don't know where else to start." "How about the part where you threw me out without even listening?" He flinched. I know I failed you." "You didn't just fail me, Dad," Sarah said sharply. "You chose Emily over me. You chose her tears over my truth. You kicked me out and never looked back." "I did look back," he said quietly. Sarah froze. "What?" "I did look back," he repeated, voice thick. "Every day, every year, I wondered where you were, if you were okay, if I'd made a mistake. Then why didn't you come find me?" "Because I was a coward." His eyes were red now. "Because admitting I was wrong meant admitting I destroyed my own daughter's life, and I couldn't face that." Sarah's throat tightened. She wanted to stay angry, wanted to hold on to the rage that had fueled her for so long. But hearing him say it, hearing him actually admit it, shook something loose inside her. "Emily manipulated all of us. She lied, she played the victim, and I fell for it. We all did." "So what now?" Sarah asked bitterly. "You apologize, I forgive you, and we pretend the last 11 years didn't happen?" "No," he shook his head. "I don't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve it." "Then what do you want?" He met her eyes. "I want the chance to be your father again, if you'll let me." Sarah stared at him, and for the first time in 11 years, she saw something she'd never expected to see. Regret. Real, raw, unbearable regret. She didn't answer right away. She couldn't, because as much as she wanted to walk away, to stay angry, to hold on to the pain, a small part of her still wanted her father back. "I'll think about it," she finally said. He nodded, tears slipping down his cheeks. "That's more than I deserve." He stood, hesitated, then spoke one last time. "For what it's worth, I'm proud of you, for surviving, for coming back, for telling the truth." And then he left. Sarah sat alone in the booth, staring at her cold coffee. But while her father was trying to make amends, Emily was plotting her comeback. Emily wasn't done. Not by a long shot. Because while Sarah thought she'd won, Emily was already spinning a new narrative. It started the next morning. A Facebook post. A long, tear-filled confession. "I need to be honest with everyone. Last night, something happened that I never wanted to address publicly, but I feel I owe it to those who love me to speak my truth." Sarah saw it while scrolling through her fake account. Her blood ran cold. "Years ago, I made a terrible mistake. I was young, scared, and desperate for my parents' approval. I said something I shouldn't have. I blamed my sister for something that wasn't entirely her fault, and last night she came back to confront me about it. I don't blame her. I deserved it. But what happened last night wasn't about healing or closure. It was about revenge. My sister humiliated me in front of my entire family, weaponized old messages taken out of context, and painted me as a monster. I'm not asking for sympathy.
I know I made mistakes, but I've spent the last 11 years trying to be a better person, trying to grow, trying to build a life I'm proud of. And in one night, my sister tried to destroy all of that. I love her. I always have, and I hope one day she can find it in her heart to forgive me, not for her sake, but for her own peace. To everyone who was there last night, I'm sorry you had to witness that. To my sister, I'm sorry for the pain I caused you, but I won't apologize for the person I've become since then. The post had hundreds of reactions within an hour. Comments flooded in. You're so brave for sharing this. It takes real strength to admit your mistakes. Your sister sounds toxic. You don't owe her anything. Sarah stared at the screen, hands trembling. Emily had done it again. She'd twisted the narrative, made herself the victim, painted Sarah as the vengeful, unforgiving villain, and people were eating it up. Sarah's phone buzzed, a text from her mother. Sarah, I just saw Emily's post. Is this true? Did you really ambush her like that? Sarah's heart sank. Already the doubt was creeping back in. Already Emily was winning again. She typed back furiously. Are you serious? After everything I showed you last night, you're actually questioning me? Her mother's response came slower this time. I'm not questioning you. I don't want this family to fall apart again. Sarah wanted to scream, because that was the problem, wasn't it? No one wanted to deal with the mess. No one wanted to face the uncomfortable truth. It was easier to forgive Emily, easier to move on, easier to pretend Sarah was overreacting. She didn't respond. Instead, she opened her laptop and started typing, because if Emily wanted to play the narrative game, Sarah could play it too. She created a blog post, detailed, thorough, backed up with screenshots, timestamps, and a timeline of Emily's lies. She laid it all out, every manipulation, every twisted truth, every time Emily had played the victim to get what she wanted. And then she posted it. Not on Facebook, not on Instagram, but on Medium, where it could be shared, archived, and referenced, where it couldn't be deleted or buried. Within hours, it started spreading. People who knew Emily, people who'd seen her post, they started commenting, sharing, questioning. Wait, this actually makes a lot of sense. I always thought something was off about her story. Holy shit, she really is manipulative. Emily's post started getting different reactions now, skeptical ones, angry ones. And then someone commented with a link to Sarah's blog. You all need to read this. There's way more to the story. The tide was turning, slowly, but it was turning, and Emily, she was starting to panic. But Sarah wasn't satisfied with just online vindication. She wanted something more permanent. Emily called her 3 days later. Sarah almost didn't answer, but curiosity won. What do you want, Emily? We need to talk. Emily's voice was tight, controlled, but there was an edge to it, something fragile. We have nothing to talk about. Sarah, please, just meet me one time. Let me explain. Explain what? How you lied for over a decade? How you destroyed my life and then played victim when I called you out? It's not that simple. It is exactly that simple. Silence. And then, quieter, I'm losing everything. Sarah's grip on the phone tightened. Good. Sarah, you don't get to call me and expect sympathy. You don't get to play the victim anymore, not with me. I'm not. Emily's voice cracked. I'm not trying to play the victim. I'm trying to fix this. Fix this? You can't fix this. You can't undo 11 years. I know. Emily sounded close to tears now. I know I can't, but I need to try. Please, just meet me, one time. Let me say what I need to say. Sarah hesitated. Every instinct told her to hang up, to block the number, to walk away for good. But something in Emily's voice, something raw and desperate, made her pause. Fine, Sarah said finally. One time. Tomorrow. Public place. And if you try to manipulate me again, we're done. Forever. Thank you, Emily whispered. They met at a park.
Neutral ground. Open. Safe. Emily was already there when Sarah arrived, sitting on a bench, hands folded in her lap. She looked smaller than Sarah remembered, tired, worn down. Sarah sat on the opposite end of the bench, leaving space between them. "You have 10 minutes," she said. Emily nodded, took a shaky breath. "I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't even expect you to believe me, but I need to say this." Sarah said nothing. "I was jealous of you. Growing up, you were the smart one, the responsible one, the one Mom and Dad always relied on, and I was just the cute one, the fun one, the one people liked but didn't respect." Sarah's jaw tightened. "So you threw me under the bus?" "Yes." Emily's voice broke. "I did, and I've hated myself for it every single day since." Clearly not enough to tell the truth. I tried so many times, but the longer I waited, the harder it got. And then years passed, and it felt like it was too late, like admitting it would destroy everything I'd built. "So you let me suffer instead?" Emily's tears spilled over. "Yes, and I'm so sorry." Sarah stared at her. Part of her wanted to believe this was real, that Emily's remorse was genuine, but another part, the part that had been burned before, couldn't trust it. "Why now?" Sarah asked. "Why apologize now after all this time?" Emily wiped her eyes. "Because I'm losing my husband, my friends, my reputation. Everything's falling apart, and I finally understand what I did to you." Sarah's stomach twisted. "So you're only apologizing because you're facing consequences?" "No, that's exactly what this is." Sarah stood. "We're done, Emily." "I'm pregnant," Emily blurted. Sarah froze. "I'm pregnant, and my husband wants a divorce, and I don't know what to do." Sarah turned back slowly. Emily looked up at her, tears streaming. "I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm asking for help." And Sarah, she had a choice to make. Sarah stared at Emily, heart pounding. Pregnant. Husband leaving, life falling apart. It should have felt like justice, like karma, but instead it felt complicated. "Why would I help you?" Sarah asked quietly. "Because you're a better person than I am," Emily whispered. Sarah let out a bitter laugh. "That's not a reason." "I know." Emily looked down at her hands. "I know I don't deserve it, but I'm asking anyway." Sarah shook her head. "You ruined my life, Emily. You took everything from me, and now you want me to, what, save you? I'm not asking you to save me. I'm asking you not to abandon me the way I abandoned you." The words hit harder than Sarah expected. She stood there, torn between rage and something that almost felt like pity. Because as much as she hated Emily, as much as she wanted to walk away and let her drown, she wasn't Emily. She wasn't the kind of person who could watch someone suffer, even someone who deserved it, and feel nothing. "I need to think," Sarah said finally. Emily nodded, wiping her eyes. "I understand." Sarah turned and walked away, mind racing. For 2 days, Sarah wrestled with the decision. She talked to her father, who told her, "You don't owe her anything." She talked to her therapist, who asked, "What do you want?" And the truth was, Sarah didn't know. Part of her wanted revenge, wanted to let Emily crash and burn. But another part, the part that had survived 11 years of exile, knew that holding on to hatred would only destroy her. So she made a choice, not for Emily, for herself. She called Emily. "I'll help you," Sarah said, "but not because I forgive you, and not because we're going to be sisters again." "Then why?" Emily's voice was small. "Because I don't want to be the kind of person who abandons someone when they need help, even if they did it to me."
Emily was silent for a moment, and then, quietly, "Thank you. But here's the deal. You're going to therapy, real therapy, and you're going to work on yourself. Not for me, not for your husband, for you. Okay. And you're going to tell the truth, publicly. No more half apologies, no more playing the victim. You're going to own what you did." Emily hesitated. "Sarah, that's the deal. Take it or leave it." A long pause. And then, "I'll do it." 2 weeks later, Emily posted again, but this time it was different. "I need to own my truth. Years ago, I lied about my sister. I blamed her for something she didn't do, and I let her take the fall for my mistakes. I manipulated my family, played the victim, and destroyed her life. I've spent the last decade hiding from that truth, but my sister came back, and she exposed me, and she was right to do it. I don't deserve forgiveness. I don't deserve sympathy, but I'm committing to being honest with myself, with my family, and with everyone I hurt. I'm sorry, Sarah, for everything." The post went viral. People praised Emily for her honesty. Others called her out for waiting so long. But Sarah didn't care about the comments, because for the first time, Emily had told the truth, and that was enough. Sarah didn't become best friends with Emily. She didn't invite her to family dinners or let her back into her life. But she answered her calls, helped her find resources, checked in occasionally. Not because Emily deserved it, but because Sarah deserved peace. And peace didn't come from revenge. It came from letting go. But just when Sarah thought the storm had passed, an unexpected twist was waiting.
3 months after Emily's public confession, Sarah received a letter. An actual, physical letter. Handwritten. No return address. She opened it cautiously, half expecting some kind of guilt trip from a distant relative. But what she read made her blood run cold. "Dear Sarah, you don't know me, but I know you. My name is David. I was the man your mother had an affair with. I need to tell you something that's been eating at me for years, something no one else knows. Emily didn't just lie about you exposing the affair. She's the one who told your father in the first place." Sarah read the sentence again, and again. Her hands trembled. "Emily found your mother's phone. She saw the messages, and she's the one who sent screenshots to your father, anonymously. She wanted your parents to fight. She wanted the chaos. And when it blew up, she pinned it on you to avoid suspicion. I've stayed silent all these years because I didn't want to cause more pain. But after seeing what she put you through, I couldn't stay quiet anymore. You deserved to know the truth. I'm sorry for my part in all of this. David." Sarah's mind reeled. Emily didn't just lie about Sarah exposing the affair. Emily was the one who exposed it. Emily orchestrated the entire thing and then framed Sarah for it. Sarah's chest tightened. She grabbed her phone, hands shaking, and called Emily. "Hello? Did you tell Dad about the affair?" Sarah's voice was ice. Silence. "Emily? Answer me." "Sarah, Did you send him the screenshots?" A long, terrible pause, and then barely a whisper. "Yes." Sarah's heart stopped. You destroyed our family. On purpose?" "I didn't mean it for it to go that far. You sent him proof of Mom's affair. You wanted them to implode, and then you blamed it on me?" "Sarah, please, I was 16. I didn't know." "You knew exactly what you were doing." Sarah's voice cracked. "You didn't just lie, Emily. You orchestrated everything. You tore our family apart and then made me the villain." Emily was crying now. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." "Sorry doesn't fix this.
Sarah's voice was shaking. Sorry doesn't give me back 11 years. Sorry doesn't undo the fact that you destroyed everything. I know. We're done. For real this time. Don't call me. Don't contact me. I'm done. Sarah hung up. She sat in stunned silence, staring at the letter. All this time, she'd thought Emily was just a coward who lied to cover her own tracks. But it was so much worse. Emily had orchestrated the entire disaster. She burned the family down, and Sarah paid the price. For days, Sarah didn't know what to do with the information. She thought about going public with it, exposing Emily all over again. But she was tired of fighting, of reliving the pain. So instead, she made a different choice. She called her father. I need to tell you something, she said. And she did. She told him about the letter, about David, about Emily's role in the affair being exposed. Her father listened in silence. And when she finished, he said quietly, I believe you. What are you going to do? Sarah asked. I don't know, he admitted, but I'll handle it. You've done enough. And for the first time, Sarah felt like her father was actually protecting her, not Emily. Her. But the story wasn't ending there, because Emily had one last card to play.
A week later, Sarah's phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer, but something made her pick up. Hello? Sarah, it's Mom. Her mother's voice was strained, tired. What do you want? Emily's in the hospital. Sarah's stomach dropped. What happened? She tried to hurt herself. The words hung in the air like lead. Is she okay? Physically, yes, but Sarah, she's asking for you. Sarah closed her eyes. I can't do this. I know you've been through hell, but she's breaking, Sarah, and I don't know how to help her. That's not my job. I'm not saying it is, her mother's voice cracked, but she's still your sister. Sarah's hands shook. She destroyed my life, Mom. She lied for over a decade. She tore our family apart on purpose, and now I'm supposed to feel sorry for her? I'm not asking you to forgive her. I'm asking you to be the bigger person, one more time. Sarah wanted to scream, because she'd already been the bigger person. She'd already helped Emily when she didn't deserve it. And now, Emily was pulling her back in again. I'll think about it, Sarah said finally. Thank you. Sarah didn't go to the hospital right away. She needed time, space, clarity. She talked to her therapist, who said, you don't owe her anything, but you need to decide what you can live with. And that was the question, wasn't it? What could Sarah live with? Walking away and letting Emily spiral? Or showing up one more time, even when it hurt? In the end, Sarah made her choice. She went to the hospital. Emily was in a private room, staring out the window, looking hollow. When she saw Sarah, her eyes filled with tears. You came. I came, Sarah said quietly, sitting in the chair by the bed. I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't expect us to be sisters again, but I need you to know I'm done lying. I'm done manipulating. I'm getting help. Real help. Sarah studied her. For the first time, Emily looked genuine. Broken, but genuine. I hope that's true, Sarah said. It is. Emily's voice was barely a whisper. I can't keep living like this. I can't keep hurting people. Sarah nodded slowly. Then prove it. Not to me. To yourself. Emily looked at her, tears streaming. Thank you for coming.
Sarah stood. "Take care of yourself, Emily." And then she left. As Sarah walked out of the hospital, she felt lighter. Not because she'd forgiven Emily, but because she'd made peace with the fact that Emily's choices weren't hers to carry anymore. Emily's healing was Emily's responsibility. Sarah had done enough. She'd exposed the lies, reclaimed her truth, set boundaries, and now, finally, she could move on. Not with Emily, but without her. And that was okay, because Sarah had learned something crucial over the past few months. Revenge wasn't about destroying someone else. It was about reclaiming yourself. And Sarah, she'd done exactly that. But one final revelation was waiting, one that would change everything.
6 months later, Sarah received an invitation. Her parents' vow renewal ceremony. She stared at the card, surprised. After everything that had happened, they were renewing their vows? She almost didn't go, but something about the gesture felt significant. So she RSVP'd. The ceremony was small, intimate, just close family. Sarah arrived early, nerves buzzing. Her father greeted her at the door. "You came," he said, relief in his voice. "I did." He hugged her, really hugged her, for the first time in over a decade. "I'm glad," he whispered. Inside, her mother was setting up flowers. When she saw Sarah, she stopped, and then, slowly, she walked over. "Thank you for coming," she said quietly. Sarah nodded. "Why are you doing this, after everything?" Her mother's eyes glistened. "Because we almost lost everything, our marriage, our daughters, ourselves." She paused. "We spent so many years letting lies control us, letting fear and guilt tear us apart, and we realized we don't want to live like that anymore." She looked at Sarah. "We want to start over, the right way, with honesty, with truth." Sarah's throat tightened. "What about Emily?" Her mother hesitated. "She's not coming. She said she doesn't feel like she deserves to be here." Sarah didn't know how to feel about that. Part of her felt relief, but another part felt sad, because despite everything, Emily was still her sister. The ceremony was beautiful, simple, honest. Her parents spoke vows they'd written themselves, vows about forgiveness, accountability, and choosing each other even when it was hard. And when it was over, her father turned to Sarah. "There's one more thing I need to do," he said. He pulled out a folded piece of paper. "I wrote this for you. I've been working on it for months." Sarah took it, hands trembling. She unfolded it. "Dear Sarah, I failed you. I failed you as a father, as a protector, and as someone who was supposed to believe in you. I let fear and pride blind me. I chose the easy lie over the hard truth, and I will carry that regret for the rest of my life. But I want you to know, I see you now. I see your strength, your resilience, your courage, and I am so, so proud of you. You survived what would have broken most people, and you came back, not for revenge, but for truth. That takes a kind of strength I don't think I have. I don't expect you to forgive me, but I want you to know that I will spend the rest of my life trying to be the father you deserved all along. I love you, Sarah. I always have. Dad." Sarah's vision blurred. She looked up at her father, tears streaming, and for the first time in 11 years, she let herself feel it. The pain, the anger, the grief, and underneath it all, hope. Her father pulled her into a hug. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." And Sarah, finally, let herself cry. Later that night, Sarah sat on her parents' porch, staring at the stars. Her mother joined her. "How are you feeling?" Sarah took a breath.
I don't know. Lighter, I think. Her mother nodded. Emily called me yesterday, she said quietly. Sarah looked at her. She wanted me to tell you she's doing better. She's in therapy. She's working on herself. Sarah nodded slowly. Good. She also wanted me to tell you she understands if you never want to see her again. Sarah didn't respond right away, because the truth was she didn't know if she'd ever fully forgive Emily, but she also didn't need to carry the hatred anymore. I hope she finds peace, Sarah said finally. And she meant it, because sometimes the best revenge isn't destruction, it's letting go.
A year later, Sarah stood in front of a room full of people. Not family, not friends, survivors. She'd started speaking publicly about her experience, about family betrayal, scapegoating, and the long road to healing. And people listened, because her story wasn't just hers. It was the story of everyone who'd ever been blamed for something they didn't do. Everyone who'd been silenced, exiled, erased. Everyone who'd clawed their way back to the truth. I used to think revenge meant destroying the person who hurt me, Sarah said, voice steady. But I learned something. She paused. Real revenge is reclaiming your life, your identity, your truth. The room was silent. My sister lied. My family believed her, and I lost 11 years. But I didn't stay lost. I came back. I told the truth, and I took my power back. She looked out at the faces watching her. So if you're out there carrying the weight of someone else's lies, hear me. You are not the villain in their story. You are the survivor in your own. Applause filled the room. Sarah smiled because she'd finally done it. She'd turned her pain into purpose, her silence into strength, and her exile into freedom. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted, share this video because the truth always finds its way back. And if you've made it this far, drop a comment telling me what would you have done in Sarah's place. Hit subscribe if you want more stories like this, real, raw, and unfiltered, because some stories don't just need to be told, they need to be heard. This is Sarah's story, but maybe, in some way, it's yours too. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.